All right. Good. Welcome, everybody, to today's absolute beginner Danish class. The funny thing is that it's an absolute beginner class, but I know most of you can say one or two words in Danish. So let's get started and see what we can do. We've got here some learning goals. And before we do that, let's see what you can say in Danish. We will start with Brandon. Can you say a word in Danish for me?
Hi.
That's exactly the one I was thinking of. Fantastic. Well done. Hi. We'll move on to Khalil. Can you say something for us in Danish?
Hi, Ervin.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Det er du.
Good, thank you, Khalil. Tahede, can you say something in Danish?
Hi,
Yeah, but we...
hvad har du?
Okay. And you say hedder, but I say
Hedder. Yeah, hvad har du?
Okay. And Rikke, it's her very first class. Rikke, what do you think hvad hedder du means?
How are you?
That's a good suggestion, but it's not how are you? Almost.
What's your name, maybe?
Excellent. Very good. What's your name? Yeah, good. And thank you very much, Rikke. Do you know any words in Danish, by the way? It's your very first class.
Gammel gris.
Say that again.
Gammel gris.
Okay, let's add that to our list. Gammel gris. And what does that mean?
Old pig, I think.
That's correct. Gammel gris. Here we go. I don't know how you have learned that, but that is correct Danish. Well done. Bobby, what can you say in Danish? Bobby is unmuted. Unmuted, sorry.
Jeg hedder Bobby.
All right, that's a good one. You also have a certain tendency to say Heather. It's more like Hilda. That's
Hilda.
Very good. And then Zara, do you know how to say how are you or how are you doing? You can't remember. All right. And Pacha, do you have a word in Danish or can you say how are you doing?
Hvordan har du det?
Okay, good. You can say hvordan har du det? Or even more simple, we could say hvordan går det? Yeah. And it seems like we're moving into the initial greetings on top of gammel gris, which we will now remove just to keep everything coherent. How would we answer the question, how are you doing? Hvordan går det?
Det går fint.
That's great. Det går fint. We could add tak. It goes fine, thanks. Det går fint. And then lastly, sorry?
Nothing. Nothing.
And we want to be polite, so we want to shoot the question back and say, what about you?
Vi er en klasse.
Hvad med dig?
Hvad med dig? Well done. Hvad med dig? Great. And what do we answer to that?
Jo, good.
One more time, a bit louder.
Det går godt.
Yeah. Det går godt og fint. Det er mine ting. And I guess that's pretty much what we've done in initial greetings. Can we say anything else? How do you say see you? Bye-bye.
Hi.
Yeah,
Og
but
vi ses.
we ses, well done. Okay, good, good. Cool, that's it. I'll just repeat, and then we'll move on to the numbers. Are you ready? Hej. Hej, Ervin. Hvad hedder du? Jeg hedder Bobby. And then we should say, let's keep it simple. How are you doing? Hvordan går det? Hvordan går det? Det går fint, tak. Det går fint, tak. Hvad med dig? Hvad med dig? Det går godt. Og det går fint. Vi ses. Ja. Vi ses. Hej, hej. Hej. There you go. Any questions in terms of pronunciation? Okay, quick run through, repetition just through the dialogue. Let's see. Brandon and Rikke. Let's hear it. Quick run through.
Hey.
Should I start? Hey,
Hvad heller du?
jeg heller.
Rikke.
I removed something. Rikke.
Let's add something here. You need to ask Brandon what his name is. What about you? What about you would be hvad med dig? Hvad hedder du?
Hvem heller dig? Hvad hedder du?
Good, good, good.
Jeg heller Brandon. Hvordan går det?
Det er fint, tak. Hvad med dig?
Almost. Dig. Hvad med dig?
Nej, okay. Hvad med dig?
Hvad? Ervin, the D is silent, right?
I'm gonna get to that absolutely.
Okay. Hvad med dig? Det gør også fint. Også fint.
He
Det
added
gør også fint.
Mhm.
Vi
Vi
ses.
ses.
Maybe we'll
Ja.
add okay.
Hej, hej.
Hej.
Well done. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. So, Rikke, it was interesting because it's Rikke's first Danish class, and so there's so much new to take into account, and there's almost no translation, so it's really tough. In terms of pronunciation, Rikke, you did really well. It's just that all of these HV questions, HV, the H is silent, so HVAD just becomes something like a flat VA. Even as Brandon said,
Okay.
even the D is silent. And I mean, if I were to pronounce the word by itself really articulated, it would be vel, but we would never pronounce the H. But the D, if you like, we could say vel. And this D then is a typical soft D. And I heard you pronounce these two Ds almost like an L, vahella. And with Danish, it's important that when it's not a hard D like Denmark, the soft D is where you place your tongue behind your lower front teeth and looks like this. And then you somehow say hedder. Hedder, okay?
But for me, it sounds like an L. But okay, I will.
It is exactly an L.
Hella,
I think if
yeah.
your tongue goes up, then it would be hella, hella.
Okay. Always when it's a double D, then.
And often Ds, unless it's in the beginning of the word.
Okay.
So we have a hard D here, for example, du.
Mhm.
Here we have the soft D, vel. You just finish with your tongue behind your lower front teeth. And the rest was really good. And one other crazy word is this one. It says dig, but we say die. Hvad med dig? Okay. So apart from that, was perfect. Are there any particular questions with these words? All right. The reason why I want to jump into this thing with learning goals is to give you an idea of what absolute beginners kind of contains. And of course, it contains initial greetings and introductions. Then it contains something of the main pronunciation, and there's about 3 aspects that we will talk about. I think you will know about 15 verbs, which is not that much, knowing that The verb endings are always the same for each verb, for each person, for each pronoun. So it will be I sing, you sing, he sing, she sing. There's no ending in the verb. Subject pronouns is all the subjects. So I would say my name is would be jeg hedder. Your name would be du hedder. His name or Brandon's name would be han hedder. All right, so those are the pronouns. And don't worry, we'll look at this in detail. Possessive pronouns would be, object pronouns would be I speak to you. So we would say I, which would be jeg, and speak is taler til dig. So we have subject and object pronouns. We also have possessive pronouns. Let's say I speak in my phone. My phone would be min telefon. So it's good to know a few, my phone, your phone, her phone, and so on. The Danish numbers are a pain, but we already know almost 1 to 100. Some of you does if you've done your homework. And then what people usually do at the end of the first module in Danish is that they can present themselves for 1 minute. They can present a friend. They can talk about a friend for 1 minute. And they can present a little bit about their family. Okay? It can be either they're married, or it could be they have siblings, or it can be about their parents. It doesn't really matter. It's just about 1 minute. Then there's some technicalities like modal verbs. There's some verbs that are a bit powerful that we use in Danish, like skal. Skal is a verb that can mean I am going to, but it could also mean I must. So we work a little bit on skal. And short answers is this thing with do you live in Denmark? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Do you speak Danish? Yes, I do. No, I don't. So there's these typical short answers we can do. And then I made a document called You Should Be Able to Answer 25 Questions. And that's quite interesting because we all learn in different ways. And let me zoom in a little bit. And some like to learn a lot by heart. Some need to know the logic of things. But I made these 20 questions. And you see they are with the translations. And then we can basically run through them. They're pretty simple. What's the clock is a little bit difficult because the clock is difficult. Your phone number will be tricky because it requires you to do the Danish numbers. Your CPR number, I mean, you're not really allowed or should mention the 4 last numbers, but you always have to be able to say them in that municipality or whoever you talk to in Denmark, right? Do you have family? Are you married? Do you have children? Those are yes or no questions. Do you have friends? This is a bit funny. Do you have a bike? Do you have a car? Do you have pets? Do you like living in Denmark? Are there any questions I should add? You are total beginners. What kind of question are missing? Bobby?
I have a question, not like something missing, but isn't the car called a bill?
Yeah, it's right here. Car is B-I-L.
Oh, okay. Cool. So bill, just a normal bill.
So car in Danish is B-I-L, but it's actually pronounced bil.
Bill, okay.
Yep. Rikke, are there any kind of introduction questions you feel are missing?
I have a question.
Tell me, Sarah.
This question have the pronunciation.
They will have yes, excellent question. This will become a video, and the video will be put on my website, so you can practice for next week for Monday. So I will make a separate video, which is basically taking you through this. So I will say, hvad hedder du? And I will of course put the answer on the right side, also in English. Jeg hedder Ervin. All right. Then it will be, where are you from? Hvor kommer du fra? Jeg kommer fra Danmark. And so on. How does that sound? Good? Good idea? Yeah, I like it. I'm pretty excited about it. So back to our little plan here. Looking at the plan, are there things that you're thinking, I'm starting Danish, I'm starting to learn Danish. Is there something missing or something you would like me to add in this list of learning goals? No? Very good. because then we can make a copy of this and we can start going through some of the elements. So here we'll put learning goals, and today's date is 07/09/22. Make a copy, and then we can look a little bit at, for example, initial greetings and introductions. Is this the wrong one? No, it's the right one. Good. Initial greetings, we have it right here. Hej. Hej. Hvad hedder du? Jeg hedder Ervin. Hvad med dig? Hvad hedder du? Jeg hedder... You say your name. Hvordan går det? How are you doing? Hvordan går det? Det går fint, tak. Det går fint, tak. Hvad med dig? Hvad med dig? Det går også fint. Det går også godt. Okay. Vi ses. Ja, vi ses. Hej, hej. Hej. So that's the initial greetings and introductions. Comments or questions? You will have to do it together in a bit, so make sure you are sharp enough. Pronunciation elements. Rike is new, and Brendan I've seen once. What can we say about pronunciation we have to remember? We'll do it quickly. The soft D. What else can we say about Danish pronunciation?
R.
The Danish R, excellent. Can you give me an example with the Danish R and how to pronounce it? I can't hear you.
Oh.
Sorry.
No.
R. So the letter R in Danish is R. But you can isolate the R at the bottom of your throat by saying A, Ka, Ra, because it forces you to open your mouth. A, Ka, Ra. And please remind me, where should I place the position of my tongue?
Behind the lower teeth.
Exactly, right here. Good. Akara, and then we can say radio. We can say akari.
Lidt lille.
Say akarema. It's super important, this R, because otherwise you will sound like an American saying like, or Australian. You're coming from Australian. Jeg taler dansk and fransk. Jeg hører radio. And you hear that R is at the front of your mouth. We don't have that in Danish. It needs to be at the back. Aka radio. Rike, can you say radio?
Radio.
Ries.
So I don't really get it. Is it a different version when we use sometimes R, car, R, or is it always all in one?
They are all different, but the first, the akara, is basically my way, my technique to isolate the R, because many people, they will say ra, 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 ra. And if you open up and if you go to the dentist, you will say ah. And then if you play a key in front of that sound, you say ka. And if you turn that into an R, hopefully the R sound will come from down here. So I will usually say akara, radio.
Okay, radio. I'm German. I roll the R too hard. Radio.
Perfect, and you're right, because we cannot roll the R in Danish. You will never hear radio like in Spanish, or if in French, la rue de la very nasal. It's down here. Radio. Well done. Thank you, Pacha. Can you say radio, ris, rema?
Rema.
Very good. What about radio?
Radio.
Okay, you can do it. So that's the Danish R.
Very hard for me.
Very hard for me. So hard for everybody. We're all struggling, especially me. Danish is the hardest. Okay, we have one more, the Danish vowels. And this one is a little bit tricky. We won't do too much of this pronunciation because we'll all fall asleep. But the Danish vowels, they have either one position, which is tongue behind your lower front teeth. That's one situation. And the other one is your tongue at the bottom of your mouth. And this is important because those are the two ways you will pronounce different vowels in Danish. So to show you, I will use the famous vowel table, vokalskema. And the vokalskema looks like this. And you need to place your tongue either like this, pressing your tongue towards your lower front teeth, or at the bottom. It's super important because that will make the difference between the Y in Danish and the U in Danish. Are you ready? The Y in Danish is Y, Y, Y. And the U in Danish, putting your tongue here, is U, U, U. And I'm doing everything I can to press my tongue towards the bottom. And I have so many like Latin speakers, like Spanish speakers, Portuguese speakers, they cannot hear, they have difficulties making the sound, the differences between U and U. Can you hear the difference? U, U. They're super similar. And it's easier if we say it with other letters. For example, the word for city would be U, U. And the word for week would be U. It's right here, U. So those are the two most difficult ones. Does anyone want to try? Tahere, do you want to try and say U?
E.
Almost sounded like an E. You have to round your lips a little bit more. U.
E.
Much better. Well done. And you can say S-Y, sy.
Three.
Okay, not bad. And then the U. U.
O.
That's great. Be careful. If you open your mouth a bit more, it will become the O. So the further you go down, the more you open your mouth. This is the most closed you can do. U.
O.
That's great. Well done. Super tricky. So just for us to remember now is that, let's see, let me just check where my document is right here. So we're going to put that drawing here. Here. Good. So this was this one. And I know I've been saying this a few times now, but I think repetition is important in terms of Danish pronunciation. Good. And that's pretty much the main fundamentals for A, Danish pronunciation, E, E. And now we learn also the last the vowel family, Y, Y. And for this one, which one do we need to place our tongue like this? It's the whole last family. It's basically U, O, O, O. Super hard. U, O, O. U, O, O. So similar. But if you can bear this in mind when you speak Danish, that your standard position is behind your lower front teeth, we're good. That's all I wanted to say about pronunciation for now. Are we okay? Questions? You're all being very silent. Good. Verbs. How many verbs? Let's do 3 verbs. You know 3 verbs, that's for sure. No? Let's find a verb in the dialogue. Where are the verbs in the dialogue? Die is, yeah, Hilda is actually a verb. So it's true that here we say, what's your name or what is your name? But in Danish, we actually say, what called you? I'm called Ervin. Yeah. And there's another one.
No.
Well, what? No.
Cô.
What matter?
Go is a verb because we say, how goes it?
Says. Sees.
Sees.
And sees, absolutely. I think that's it. Hedder.
What?
Hedder, går og ses. So we can put it in the infinitive. To be called would be at hede. To walk would be at go. To see would be at se. I don't know if this makes sense to you to write it like this, to be called, but I'll write it like this for now. To go or to walk. To see. Are we okay? We have one more verb, which is to speak. You want to say what languages you speak? Because if we go to the 25 questions, we have a couple ones here. We have this one. Which languages do you speak? Hvilke sprog taler du? So in other words, we have,
Sprog.
what, sorry?
Sprog is the
Taylor.
verb. Taylor. Taylor is the verb.
So one verb is, and maybe we should make a copy of this one as well and just call it ours. 1 second. 070922. Because we can basically highlight them from this question list, and that will make your life much easier. And then in about 3 minutes, I will send you in a breakout room just to be able to do the dialogue. So we've got the verb hedder. What's your name? Hvad hedder du? Where are you from would be kommer. The verb to come. Which languages do you speak? Hvilke sprog taler du? Where do you live? Hvor bor du? And let's do one last one. Arbejder du? Work you? Or do you work? And that's it. What can we say about the verbs? What is kind of like the common thing about the verbs in Danish?
They have an R in the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they are in Danish, most of them end in ER, and that doesn't matter whether it's you or me or I or they. In French, we have different endings. I say we because I'm half French, but the verbs in Danish don't change according to the person. So that's super simple. Are you okay with that? So that means that we have, in terms of our learning goals, quite a few. We have comma, add comma, come. What else did I say? Taler. Add taler. To speak. And maybe last one. Where do you live? Hvor bor du? Well, add bo. To live. So all of these are in what verb tense is hedder, går, ses, kommer, taler, bor? What verb tense would that be? If I say jeg taler, I speak, that's the present tense. How about I live? How would you say I live in Copenhagen?
Jeg bor.
Jeg bor i København. Jeg taler dansk. That's it. Ses is a little bit difficult. I watch would be jeg ser TV.
Is it then always ser? Also for han and
Also
for
for
do?
yeah,
For do? For
yeah.
example? Okay.
yeah. So you say I watch.
Always the same.
Du ser TV. That's a good question. Jeg taler. Du taler. I live. Du bor. That was a good observation. So that leads us to the subject pronouns. We know 2 subject pronouns. We know jeg, which is I. And we know, as Rikke just said, du, which is you. So what is happening here is that we will slowly fill out this learning goal document, which is great. I have one last thing to tell you before you get to speak some Danish together, some small dialogues, is that for us to make a question, how do I make a question in Danish? what's the simplest way of making a question in Danish?
It ends with a do.
You've got hvad hedder du, but that requires like a question word like what called you hvad, or where are you from? But there's number 5. Look at number 5. How is the question built up here?
Start with verb.
Exactly. Verb subject. So Danish is such a Viking language, so you could just say work you, speak you Danish. And that means that you can actually make some of these sentences a question. So for us to say, how would we say I speak Danish? We would say jeg taler dansk. And then how would we make that a question? Put the verb first.
Taler du dansk?
Well done, Khalil. Taler du dansk? Speak you Danish? All right. Let's do one more. Bor. Jeg bor i København. How would we make that a question?
Hvor er du?
I København. And then we can say,
I mean,
yeah. Oh, nice. Tell me, Bobby.
that means do you live in Copenhagen?
So bor just means live.
I live in Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, do you technically do you live in Copenhagen or live you in Copenhagen?
I mean, it's literally.
But you write it the other way.
It's directly translated. It's literally live you in Copenhagen. Bor du i København? It's a good question.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So that's pretty normal, I've seen in the Danish language. You don't have to arrange it accordingly.
It's a very direct and simple language in the sense that the word order for a question can be just verb subject, right?
And what is the I in the sentence? Jeg bor last question. Jeg bor og jeg.
The I is a preposition meaning in.
So you write in like I in.
In we write with a small I and we say ich. Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm gonna send you to a breakout room because I'd like you to try and do a little bit of an exchange in Danish. Try and say what you've learned so far. The notes for this document you can get right here in the notes. And on top of that, you can use the first few questions here. Try and see if you can answer some of these questions. There you go. And the idea is, of course, that after this class for next Monday, you will try and rehearse the questions and go on my website and practice the video with the video. All right? Let's do some breakouts. How many rooms? Maybe 3. I've got one room with 3, Brandon, Khalil, Tahere. We've got Bobby and Rike, and we've got Pacha and Zara. I guess that could work. But I'm gonna put Tahere together with Bobby and Rike. Here we go. All right, I'll come by the room and let's see how it goes. And no stress. Make use of the documents.